Hello, everybody, and welcome along to a very different episode indeed. Yes, normally we do Grand Theft Autos and LSPDFRs, but today we're going to be doing something that I'm very fond of and passionate about when I am gaming and when I am not gaming. However, though, when I'm gaming and recording videos, I don't tend to do this as it sounds incredibly crude on the microphone, I have found. But it is this. Boom, ta-da. It is vaping. Yes, I vape. This is my vape of choice. It is a Tesla 220 watt mod. Well, it's rated up to 220, but I don't tend to kind of vape at 220. I like to vape at a nice cool 85 watts. And if I bring it closer to the camera, we'll see that my ohms is 0.14, which is very important indeed for these machines. However, these mods are regulated, so it's more of a mechanical mod you've got to be careful of when dropping the ohms down. But I like to stick anywhere between 0.12 and 0.16 on my ohms, mainly because of the hit of the voltage to the watt ratio. It just provides a nicer vape. And here on top, just there, is my RDA. Yes, the rebuildable drifter. I don't think that's a word. Dripper atomizer. And if we go ahead and pull its head off, like so, ta-da, we'll put that down there. You can see that I have made two homemade coils. They are 8 wraps at 0.35, and then I go ahead and shove some cotton bacon through there and dip it down into the well and vape it up. If we go ahead and blow, but we'll give it a little go if we can get a bit of a focus going. There we go. So that's kind of how long I vape for, and I inhale that myself. I'm sure there are other vape channels that can be more in depth about this mod. However, I thought I would, just as a Brucey bonus, show you what I kind of do on the sidelines when I'm not doing Grand Theft Autos. There's a bit of Pinkman there, but I've got to make that up. There's a few that I've made here myself. I make my own juices. I don't buy the juices from the shop. It is way too expensive for the money that I have. So for what we're going to do today is we're just going to give the coils a quick clean. We're not going to change them. We're going to go ahead and change the cotton, and then we're going to go wick her up. But before we do that, just move that over to the side. We're going to need some tools. I have the correct tools for the job. However, you can go ahead and use whatever you like, really, as long as it gets the job done. I just prefer it for safety. So we're going to need, first of all, a set of tweezers. That's right, these are very imperative for taking the cotton out and then chucking it in the bin. So we're going to need them. Next up, we're going to need one of these. These are so difficult to find in England. I searched high and low, and what they are is a metal brush. If we can get a closer look, there we go. You don't want to get these in the fingers. You wouldn't want to press hard on one of these because these actually go in like a needle. But they are a metal brush. As you can see there, they're still. And what you do is you heat up the elements of your coil and you basically brush their teeth backwards and forwards, just like that. Give them a clean and then rewash them again with some water. But I found the local Sainsbury's actually sold these, and these are rather a bit too long in the handle for me. I would like them kind of cut to about there, so you can, it's more accurate. The longer the handle, I find you kind of hammered, so I kind of end up doing that and then giving them a gentle brush. You want to be very careful when the coil itself is hot, because you can end up bending them out of shape. So if you do bend them out of shape, these are a must. These are ceramic tweezers. Now they're only ceramic to here, but this material itself is ceramic. Now the reason why you have ceramic tweezers is very simple, is that runs off high voltage or watts or whatever you want to call it. And if I was to use this to straighten up my coils whilst pressing it on, I would give myself quite a nasty shock. Wouldn't be very pleasant indeed. So we tend to stay away from metal when touching coils and moving them about, and these are a great conductor. But unfortunately, I don't know if you can see, I snapped, hang on, let's see if we can get it focused. There we go. I snapped the ceramic bit, doing something I shouldn't have done when I wasn't vaping. I was trying to get something out of a nook and cranny, and I ended up snapping it off. But it still works the same, just not as pretty. So perhaps I should go ahead and invest in one of them. I will leave links in the description for the tools I use, and hopefully if I can find this on the internet, I'll leave a link in the description for this bad boy, because these are buggers to find hold of. And the next one you're going to need to use is one of these. Set of scissors. Comes in many shapes and sizes. I like these because they do that. I mean, that's pretty cool, isn't it? They just kind of fold away into nothing. But these are incredibly sharp. I don't actually use them for anything else other than snipping cotton. Cotton, you say? What have we got here? It's the garden bacon. That's right. Wick and Vape. It's cotton bacon version 2.0. Although I'm not sure what 1.0 was like. I've never actually tried the 1.0 version of these, but we'll go ahead and look at the back and we'll just have a little read. So yes, cotton bacon version 2.0 has been specifically formulated for vaping. We start with select US grown cotton fibre. They spelled fibre wrong, but okay. Then take it through a proprietary purification process to remove impurities, natural oils and pesticides. Cotton bacon is created in a state-of-the-art facility to provide vapors with an easy-to-use 100% tasteless cotton wick. Simply pinch, tear, wick and vape. It's not actual bacon, guys. Do not ingest, do not use in a medical setting or situation. Now you can tell it's made in the USA because it says not actual bacon. I'm not sure if this is for our American friends who aren't too smart. Yeah, so you can scratch there to reveal the authentication code, but the place I get this is a real shop, not an online site. So I trust them and I use them all the time. Again, I'll leave a link in the description below for the shop that I use. These are very good, and the gentleman that runs this shop I get on very well with. So we're going to go ahead and put this here. And lastly, we need to make sure we don't blow our heads off. We're going to use this. This is an ohms reader. This basically is where you screw your RDA. You screw it on. You put it on. It's not going to read anything now because it hasn't got a deck on it. But if it had a deck on it, it would read, say, 0.25 ohms. And you'd be like, oh, that's a bit too much. So you'd have a little bit of a jiggle. And then you can go to the fire mode and it will fire up at 3.73 volts. You go ahead and fire and you see it takes away half the U. You know it's firing off. But it's not going to fire off because we haven't got a deck on. And that's how you kind of check. And this is a bit dusty. It's not dusty, it's more cotton fibres that I've been using. This is from the Coil Master. Again, I'll try and leave a link in the description below for the Coil Master pack that I bought from the shop that I get this from. Again, very trusted and hasn't let me down yet. Before we go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and show you, ta-da, an 18650 battery. Let's get this out. I should really use the ribbon, but I'm a bit thick. So this is the batteries that have a lot of problems when you don't keep them safe. A lot of people, they will put these in their pockets and be on their merry way. Put change in, scissors or anything like that that's metal, and the metal will touch this, and this will short out with metal touching it and vent and go blow your leg off. These are high discharge batteries, so I recommend getting a case for these batteries if you're going to transport them. They're all right in that, and they're all right like that, but the moment you put them in your pocket and metal could touch them, these will get incredibly warm. So I recommend a case. You can get cases online for like 50p and they hold like 4. We can go for like £2 or £3 and they hold loads of them. It really is user dependent. So I think without further ado, we should take this over to the kitchen and use all these implements and change that bad boy. Let's go ahead to the kitchen. Okay, so we're here now at the kitchen, the sink most importantly, because this is where we're going to go ahead and do some cleaning on our vape. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and take the top off like so, and as you can see we have got our coils and our wick. So the cotton is actually called a wick, And what we'll do now is, I haven't charged this bit yet, so we will take this off with the metal. But if you have used it lately, then obviously you would go ahead and use the ceramics as we said. So let's go ahead and do that now to try and work the camera. There we go. Not getting great focus, so apologies there. If we just take it out like so, the remaining bits, and then we will take that side out, and then we're done. There we go. So now what we need to do is we need to clean this coil off. So let's go ahead and do that. What we'll do is we'll give it just a quick blast, like so. There we go, we've got it glowing now. And now what we do is we'll put it onto cold, run the water like so, and we'll have that beaming hot, just like so. There we go. And again. It's not looking too bad, is it, guys? What we'll do is we'll give it a little brush. So we'll introduce this bad boy, and we'll just go ahead and give it a gentle brushing. There we go. Right. The focus is terrible. Really should buy myself a much better camera. But hey ho, I'm more invested into my PC gear. So that's looking pretty good. There's no gunk, and what's what you're looking for is any kind of gunk on it. And there's no gunk on it, they're just dark. But we can change that by warming them up, and they go a different colour. Let's get that one more blast. And that's that. That is done. We just now need to go back to the living room to be able to wick it up with the carton bacon. So let's go ahead, dry this off with a bit of tissue paper, and then go over to the workstation in the living room. Okay guys, we're now back with our beautiful RDA. Yes, all clean, all nice, and all tasty. So we should really use a coil deck reader, but I'm quite advanced. I know what I'm doing, and let's face it, I haven't rebuilt the coils. I've just gently taken out the cotton from the coils, so we shouldn't have too much problem if we can go ahead now and just screw that on. Like so. That's nice and tight, and we're still reading at 0.14. That's brilliant. It would give us a notification whether to go up or stay the same, or down or stay the same, regarding on what ohms it has changed. So now we've got the difficult bit, and that's putting off some cotton on camera. Don't work with cameras very often, but there we go. And this is the cotton indeed. This is miles too thick for our coil. So we need to go ahead and just take off just ever so slightly, little bit. And we start at the top, and that should be enough. This bit here that is just being pulled off, and we go down. Just like so. Come on, there we go. You're going to have to excuse my dog in the background. He appears to be sleeping / I don't know what he's doing. Thankfully he doesn't do that whilst I'm gaming. I think he's dreaming. Let's have a little look. Yeah, he's dreaming away. He's probably running in the fields, doing something or other. So it's not very pretty like this. So what we do is we clean it up, just ever so slightly, chuck that little bit down, and we just roll it up like so, just to clean it up. And when you roll like this, especially if it's a little too thick, you can get it a bit thinner that way. It's feeling pretty good actually. This way you can actually determine, by doing this, just gently go from the middle and then out. You can feel for any lumps, bumps and any nasties that you don't want. But that is feeling pretty damn good. Let's go ahead and just give this end a little clean up so that we've got a nice neat end to put through. What I do is I don't wet it. I don't ever want to put any kind of moisture other than vape juice on this. So we're just going to slightly roll it in our fingers and then do that so you get that tip. And we're bringing our bad boy and we're going to feather it through, like so. As it pokes out through the end, you're going to put it. And what you're looking out for is just a slight bit of resistance as you put it through, which we are getting. So we'll just tidy up this end, like so. Oh, didn't do a proper cut there. That's because I'm looking on the phone as I do it. Ah, no. There we go. And then we'll cut it just like so. There you go. So you want to overcut it, or undercut it, I don't suppose you'd say, so that you can trim it up later. And then we'll turn it around, and we'll do exactly the same. We're just going to pinch and roll, and that gives us our nice end to try and feather it through, like so. There we go. We're going to go about halfway, unravel that just ever so slightly, but it doesn't matter too much because we're going to cut it off, making sure it's in line with the ones we've just done behind, which it kind of is. If we just get rid of that dirty bit there. There you go. My poor table is littered with cottony bits. As you can see, just gently fan that out. We've got very neat, very tidy build, like so. So what we're going to do is we need to get our tweezers. A wibble, wibble, wibble from my mechanical mod. It's not mechanical, but it's a mod nevertheless. And we'll just put that in like so. There you go. It sits in just like that. See? And then we'll put this in like so. And then being careful not to touch the power button. I'd probably suggest, if you're not as stupid as I am, is to take the batteries out when you do this, because you don't want to ruin the cotton by accidentally pressing the fire button, and you don't want to ruin your finger by giving yourself a nasty, nasty shock. Now I'm going to turn it around like this because I find it easier to go in that way, and it's very crude at the moment. So what we do is we just tidy it up and then just push it down to the bottom of the well, like so, making sure all of them are tidy and pushed down, because if they're not pushed down, they're not going to be sucking up the juice evenly, thus being not as efficient. So that is it. That is pretty well. I'm not too keen on that bit there. So what I'll do is we'll just gently push that in. There we go. That's much better. Then you get your juice of your flavour, which this one is pink lemonade. So we go ahead and juice it up. So if we go here, and we just let it drip, really. Nice and slowly. Let it all absorb it up. Missed that completely. That's why we have kitchen towel. It's a little happy mistake we did there, but I've got a bit of blitz. Other kitchen towels are available. There we go, just like so. I'm going to clear out these little bits here. There we go, so they're not in the way and get stuck to us and we walk around with cotton fluff on our elbows, because that wouldn't be very good. And as you can see, it's starting to soak up the juice quite nicely. So I let it go down the middle just ever so slightly, so that it can go to the bottom of the deck. And I put a bit on the top as well. As you can see, a bit on the top. And what we'll do is, we've got enough in there now that it won't burn. You just give it a quick, you can see that it just slowly drinks it up. Slowly drinks, slowly drinks. We'll just do a bit more. And I think, let's just have a little look at that myself with my close-up eyes. That's going to be almost ready to vape. We'll just do a bit more, like so. And then we'll put the chimney, or whatever you want to call this, back on. And people have asked me, why don't you vape when you play gaming? And it's a simple object. This is what you hear when I'm playing a video game and vaping. Oh, hang on, let's just turn that on. It asked me if I wanted new ohms. It has done. It's changed to 0.15. So yeah, this is why I don't vape and game whilst recording. Sounds pretty loud, doesn't it? So there you have it, guys. That is how to vape like a professional, really. Like a gamer. I suppose we could name this episode Vaping Like a Gamer. But yes, that is how we do it. If there's any questions, please don't hesitate to comment in the bit below. But make sure you like, comment and subscribe as a massive thumbs up to anyone that does, as you really do support this channel very nicely. So thank you very much for watching this episode. We shall resume normal episode with episode of whatever next of Grand Theft Auto. Until then, you take care and goodbye, and I'll see you soon.